Had an absolutely crazy weekend of wrestling action. Main event: Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, and Bronson Reed versus Braun Breaker. Sorry, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker versus Roman Reigns and Jey Uso open up the first night of SummerSlam. This was a massive weekend of wrestling where with some good stuff on night one, some bad stuff on night one, but overall, I enjoyed the show. Roman Reigns came out, got the entrance as per usual. We had to do the big Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, and I just have to say, I can't go over the fact Bronson Reed is wearing Roman's shoes as a Shula fella. That's going to catch on. This match was really good, a very entertaining, fast-paced match. Roman was hitting some great spots, did a top rope dive over, there was spears, there was kick out of spears, there was Roman putting himself in the way so Jey didn't get speared. Bronson Reed would then get speared by Jey Uso, Jey would hit the splash, and that would be the 1-2-3. And Jey and Roman would pick up the win, and you're thinking, okay, so Roman's gone away for a while. This feud's not done. This feud is definitely not done. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair next up would face Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez for the Women's Tag Team Championships, and it was a very fun match, and thankfully for my sake, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair did not have a heel turn. They actually won the Tag Team Championships. I love this tag team, and I'm so glad they won the belts. I'm interested to see what they do with the titles now. We'll get into what happens in the night 2 and also on Raw, because this is all just a recap of everything that happened this entire weekend. But this was a good start. Second match, enjoyed. The third match of night 1 was Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Now, don't get me wrong, I didn't give a flying fuck about this feud at the start. I don't give a flying fuck about the feud in the end. I'm a Sami Zayn fan, but I do feel bad that Karrion Kross is not going to get his contract re-signed. I hope he goes on to do better things. This was a match that no one needed to really care about, unless they were going to turn Karrion Kross face, which I predicted, and it doesn't seem like they've done that. So, no, I didn't really care about this. Sami Zayn picked up the win and can move on to something else. But yeah, not a caring loud. Tiffany Stratton, on the other hand, did surprise me. Tiffany versus Jade was a very good match. It was quick, but it was entertaining, it was good, and Tiffany retained the championship, which I really didn't expect. Jade hit the Jaded, Tiffany kicked out because her foot was on the rope. Jade then went for a top rope Jaded, which Tiffany Stratton then kicked out, well not kicked out, but like reversed. Hurricane Rana Jade kind of, and then hit the British moonsault for a 1-2-3, and that's it. Tiffany Stratton retains the women's championship, and I don't know what we're doing now, Jade, because Jade seems to be very upset online and stuff. And the next match, Jelly Roll and Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. I don't want to say much about this match because it should never have been a thing. Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul picked up the win. Mad respect to Jelly Roll for the spots he took. That massive frog splash through the table, fair play. But I didn't need to see the, oh my god, he's not giving up. Oh my god, he's not dying. He's going back out there. I don't need to see that. He's not a fucking wrestler. I don't need to see that shit. Thankfully, Drew and Logan got the win. I mean, a good performance by Jelly Roll, okay? Randy Orton, I don't actually think was in the match for that much of the time at all, but look, we can move on from that story. Let's get to the main event of the show now. Gunther versus CM Punk. Now, I can't really show this match, but because it's just so damn good. If you want to go and watch the best singles match with no stipulations, then you watch Gunther CM Punk. Probably the best singles match for the men's division. It was incredible. It was a beautiful story. The entrances were brilliant, and from start to finish, it was just fantastic. We get to the end of the match, okay? Gunther has been busted open. Gunther has never been busted open, apparently. Now, I saw reports during the day that Gunther had an issue with his nose, so I kind of expected something to go down, but I didn't expect it to go down like this. Gunther really got busted open. It was crazy. And he was shocked. He was concerned. And this was the first time you see concern in the face of the ring general. CM Punk hits GTS. Gunther doesn't go down. Punk hits another GTS. Gunther's down. 1, 2, and 3. Punk wins the big world championship. And I'm thinking, okay, is Seth coming out? And there was a long time 3 minutes, I reckon it was. 3 or 4 minutes. And then, as Punk lifted the title in the air, burn it down hits. Seth comes out, says, hold on to the title while you can. Hold on, motherfucker. He hobbles away. And I'm thinking, okay, so Seth is actually injured. But he's not. The man drops the crutches. He pulls down the knee pad. He faked it. He faked the whole damn thing. Tricked everybody. Some people claim they knew it was going to happen. Fair enough. I was one of those who thought he was actually injured. So this completely caught me off guard. And I loved every second of it. And I was so conflicted. I was like, I don't want Punk to lose the title already. But this is so good. So, there we go. Seth smashes him with the briefcase multiple times. Cashes in. Seth hits one stop. 1, 2, 3. New World Heavyweight Champion. Main event was amazing. This was even more amazing. And I was just thinking, how is Night 2 going to have a shock factor like this? Perfect end to Night 1. Let's roll into Night 2 because it gets crazier. Oh, it gets Night 2 of SummerSlam with the women's triple threat match. Rhea Ripley, who is in her, I believe, 6th women's championship match of 2025. One being against Liv Morgan, one being against Io Sky, one being against Bianca Belair and Io Sky, another one being against Io Sky, and now in a triple threat against Naomi and Io Sky. So actually, no, this is her 5th one. Oh, wait, no, she beat Nia Jax. 6th one. Yep, there we go. She has had 6. 6. And 2 of them were when she was the champion. That's it. 2 times she was the champion. Io Sky is in her 3rd Women's World Championship match. Against Rhea. Against Bianca and Rhea. Oh, and against Naomi. So no, this is her 4th one. Which is also kind of crazy. And Naomi is in her 1st defense. She came out with her dad on the guitar. That was really cool. Sick entrance for Naomi. I loved every second of Naomi's entrance. Naomi's in the best work of her career right now. And I was praying. I was like, this, surely you don't give the title to Rhea. You don't do it. This was a good match. Very solid match. Wasn't as good as Rhea versus Io Evolution. I don't think any women's match will ever eclipse that absolute classic match that they put on one of the greatest wrestling shows I think I've ever seen. But this was still a very good match. There were great spots with Rhea and Io working together as a team because they have like that kind of connection. Io was hitting moonsaults, Naomi was kicking out, Riptides were there. But then we get to the penultimate bits of the match where Io Sky had seen Naomi being hit by a Riptide by Rhea. And Io just got there in the end. And then it happened. Rhea hit the avalanche Riptide on Io. And Naomi just rolls up Rhea and pins Rhea Ripley to retain the Women's World Championship. So Naomi has now pinned Io. She's now pinned Rhea. Io is now getting a rematch, I believe, on Raw next week. But it's crazy. It is genuinely crazy. I can see Naomi losing that because I don't see Naomi winning clean. I just don't. It's really crazy that, yeah, Naomi has pinned Rhea Ripley. I didn't expect Rhea to get pinned. Great match, solid start to the show. But nothing could prepare me for what was about to happen next. Because this match next was just unbelievable. If you want to talk about the match of the weekend, possibly match of the year, you go and watch the TLC match. 6 teams in this match. DIY, Motor City Machine Guns, the Street Profits, Fraxium, the Wyatt Six, Andrade and Rey Fenix. All of them can take the biggest standing ovation you'll ever get. Because this was unbelievable. There is so many highlights from this match. It's so hard to talk about the highlights from this match because it's just, it's crazy. I believe at the end of the show, we even had on the post show a table count of like 14 tables were destroyed in this match, as well as probably Candice LeRae was probably murdered in this match. There's 3 respect tables on top of each other. I think there was 4 tables on top of each other at one point, which is really cool. There was Gargano throwing Gacy with that one final beat into a table. There was Dexter Lumis hitting a massive leg drop onto Montez Ford through a table. There was Rey Fenix hitting a massive frog splash through Nathan Fraser through another table. There was a sick Spanish fly from the top, which went through 2 tables when Dawkins and Axiom went through it. And then Candice LeRae's trying to get the tag championships. There's a kick from Montez Ford, and Gargano falls into the chamber, and Candice LeRae takes one of the scariest bumps I think I've ever seen, and the ladder just disintegrates, just destroyed itself. And Gargano goes, "Are you good?" "Yeah, all right, I'll keep climbing the ladder." And it gets absolutely crazier. Then there's a spear to Eric Rowan through a table from Dawkins. Uncle Howdy gets involved. Ciampa is dangling in midair as Nathan Fraser tries to spear him, and he uses his core body strength to keep himself up, which is incredible. And then finally, the Wyatt Six come in, hit their finisher. Everyone's basically dead. And Gacy and Loomis retain the championships. The only team I'd say who didn't really have much big spots in this tag team match just had so many crazy spots. It was just, match of the weekend. 100% match of the weekend. Then we roll on to Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. If Lyra Valkyria loses, she does not get another shot at the championship as long as Becky Lynch is champion. I don't know why people in the crowd didn't seem to care about this match. By the way, Becky Lynch got a new entrance, not by Death Rebel, by World Wonders or something. I like the entrance a lot. It fits Becky perfectly. Very good entrance. Although I will always love Celtic Invasion. This match was great. I don't quite know what people were not caring about in the crowd. Probably because it came after the TLC match, which was a crazy match. But there was crowbars in it. There was Lyra Valkyria's neck basically being snapped in half at points. It was a proper brutal blood feud match. A ending of a great rivalry. It was perfect. There was handcuffs. There was chains. Yes, there was a botch with the zip tie where it came off and Lyra put it back on. But look, those things happen, okay? Beck exploded onto chairs. There was a fire extinguisher. Again, she got out the zip ties. She did a no-handed moonsault. I mean, Christ me, like. Then Becky put the chair onto Lyra's neck, hit a leg drop onto the chair, which kind of snapped Lyra's leg, jolted it. She got the crowbar out, looked like she was going to kill her, basically. And then Bayley comes out of the crowd, and I'm thinking, oh, Bayley's going to cost Lyra. Becky keeps saying, Bayley, you should hit Lyra with the crowbar. She took everything from you. And then we get the fight between Bayley and Becky, where Bayley's like, no, you took everything from me at WrestleMania. I'm going to make you pay and everything. And then Bayley gets chucked over the barricade. Becky's like near a table. I think, oh, Bayley's just going to jump. No, Lyra just jumps out of nowhere and just leg drops Bayley with the pretty pate through the damn table. But it happens. Bayley hits Lyra by accident with the chain. Becky hits the manhandle slam. Bayley watches the pin and then right at the end goes to try and stop it. But it's too late. And Lyra Valkyria has no more chances at the Women's Intercontinental Championship as long as Becky Lynch is champion. Great match. Again, 3 brilliant matches on SummerSlam Night 2. Then we have a bit of a dull match. Becky Lyra kind of apparently died the crowd down. We had the steel cage match between Solo Sikoa and Jake Fatu. And look, it was okay. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't anything special. There was a moonsault at the top of the cage, but that was after the match. There's too many shenanigans in these bloodline matches for me to actually care anymore. MFTs came out. Handcuff spot, which Jacob just broke out of the handcuffs. Door into the face. Solo walks out. Bang. Solo wins. We're not done with this feud because Jacob just annihilated 2 of the MFTs. Tala Tonga is crap. The moonsault off the top of the cage was sick, but I didn't care about the match. What I did care about was Dominic versus AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship. Great match. Loved it from start to finish. Not many shenanigans. Lovely homage to Eddie Guerrero because it's 20 years since that match for Dominic. Custody of Dominic. Came out in the lowrider at AJ. Loved his gear. Great. It was a great solid match and a clever way for Dominic to win with undoing the boot. So AJ pulls the boot off, and then when the referee is distracted, bang, Dominic hits AJ with the boot, and that's how he retains the championship. Good match. I don't think their feud's done either. I was expecting Liv to maybe come out and celebrate with Dom, but sadly that didn't happen. So, we get to it, the main event. Obviously on the SmackDown, John Cena had turned face, which was so confusing until what happened after the main event, which then it makes sense. But this has been a feud which needed saving. Okay, WrestleMania Day match sucked. Cody comes out with a great entrance with Dusty Rhodes kind of playing in the background. I'm all the skull helmet yet again. I'm like, this is it. I'm locked in. This is the one time they're going to redeem WrestleMania. Entrances were fantastic, but we were all waiting for Cena's because Cena said he's gone back to being the proper John Cena. That would mean Cena is going to have his colours back. Yeah, not going to have the black and white bullshit. No one cares. And he came out with the colours again. The colour scheme's back. The blue's back. The crowd pop when it changed on the Titantron was brilliant. And that's when I started to buy like, okay, maybe it was actually just a for real face turn. It has not duped us. Cena's turned face. He ran down to the ring. He said to Stu, we're going to go to work. I was like, okay. So, as random as it was, the face turn was legit. We had the whole Cena loving the crowd and everything. This was it. It was a proper fight between two faces going at it to see who would come out on top. And I've wanted that for so long. To have a face-to-face match where you don't need a heel. You don't need it. Yeah, Cody was booed, but it's John Cena. And I don't think Cody was booed for most of the match. It was just like at the start. And then the crowd started to believe that both of them were just faces. And no one was going to turn. And they realised it's a street fight. So you're not really being a heel. And yeah, there was a cool moment to start. The hug. And then it's like, right, now we go to war. And by God, did they go to war. There was crutches used. Cena took Tyrese Halliburton's crutch. There was steel steps used. People were chucked onto steps. Cody had the steps chucked to his arm, which looked brutal at one point. Cena did the 5-knuckle shuffle. There was so many AAs and so many kickouts. Crossroads were being kicked out. Tables were being broken. A damn pile driver from Cody to Cena was kicked out of. Cody, who had been injured by a pile driver by Kevin Owens. So that was kind of a cool moment. Then it happened. Cody went for the triple crossroads. Cena would kick out. Cody got AA'd through a damn table. That table disintegrated. That was a crazy moment. Cody would get a crossroads. Cena would kick out. Cena would hit an AA. Cody would kick out. Cena would hit another AA. Cody would kick out. They would go into the crowd. There'll be a really cool spot as well where they got like the steel barricade and Cody would just suplex Cena onto it. That looked brutal. And then there'd be an awesome moment where they went underneath the ramp and then Cena would come up through like Cody's little entrance elevator thing with like smoke and everywhere. And oh, that was such a cool shot with Cody on his back. And he just yeeted him with an AA onto the concrete floor. Carried Cody to the ring, but took too long, and Cody would then reverse and throw Cena through another table. Cena would kick out. Cody would then launch him over the top rope. Cena would then get back into the ring. We then get Cody undoing the damn rope to try and choke Cena out with it. Kind of like, with the bull rope matches, he kind of smacked him with that. Cena then would reverse it into the STFU with the rope. Cody wouldn't tap out, he reversed that again. Cody would pick up the championship, try and knock Cena out with it. Cena wouldn't do it. Cena would then hit one AA, another, and then an avalanche AA, and Cody would kick out. Then the table spot happened. Cody would hit a top rope. Cody kind of threw Cena through the table. Cena would be hanging on for dear life. Cody then hits the salute to Cena. Crossroads. 1, 2, 3. And new undisputed WWE champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, is back on top of this division. Great moment. Kind of like the passing of the torch moment between Cena and Cody. I still believe we have one more match between them. I don't think Cena and Cody's done. It all depends on if we pull through with a Cody heel turn and Cena ends Cody's reign and gets the 18th, walks out of the company, and we see what happens. I don't know. I just feel like we're not done yet. Cody got the great pyro, the cool moment, awesome end tonight to SummerSlam. Oh wait, there's twats here. You know, they just always have to ruin it, don't they? They have to fucking mess something perfect up with controversy. Because yes, Cody lets Cena stand in the ring. Cody lets Cena get his moment. We're all about to turn off SummerSlam. And then the Brock Lesnar music hits. And my initial reaction was, what the fuck are you doing here? And it still is my reaction. This man has not been cleared of any charges, of the allegations of anything. There has been nothing said about Brock didn't do anything. Nothing. It's all still out there. It's all still online. You can see the evidence online. It's still legit. The lawsuit is still going on. So again, why is he here? And why does he hate Cena so much? Returns always are just F5 Cena. Now the crowd reacted like mad when Brock's theme hit. But interestingly, when I rewatched this, the crowd died as soon as Brock F5'd Cena. The reaction online is very mixed. I understand people like Brock. Okay, I understand that. But he's done some terrible, terrible things. And I cannot support the guy unless I get full legitimate proof that he's actually been cleared of any of the charges. And right now, none of that's happened. So I think it's matches. Oh my god, I want him to get buried in every match he has. I think we're setting up Cena versus Brock in Clash in Paris. And yeah, okay, cool. It'll be an interesting match. If Cena needs to win, okay, don't get me started on Brock winning a match. Not in the big 2025. I was expecting The Rock, not Brock. Did they press the wrong button and send the wrong person? I just don't believe it. I don't. It just ruined for me a perfect Night 2 main event. It was a genuinely cracking show from start to finish with one bad match. And then you have the main event seal it with an amazing ending. And then it's ruined by the stuff after it. Why are you here? He was injured when he never was. You son of a bitch, Seth. You tricked me. Bronson Reed was still wearing the Shula follow, which is just absolutely hilarious. Seth's promo was pretty good. He said, shame on you for all turning your back on me. Shame on you all for cheering for Punk, for cheering for Roman. It was kind of the generic Seth promos we've had recently. Heyman's promo was good about Bron Breakker, about Bronson Reed, but I was really waiting for the interruption. I knew that Roman was at Raw, I knew Punk was at Raw, and I knew LA Knight was at Raw, so I was wondering, who is it going to be? And it was the megastar, LA Knight, yeah, who would interrupt Seth, remind Seth that, dummy, yeah, I pinned you at Saturday main event, yeah, and you just lied to get out of face me, yeah. And I was like, okay, why don't we just run the championship match tonight? Didn't think it was going to happen. Adam Pearce is like, well, you tricked all of us and faked medical records, so you know what, Seth? You're facing him tonight. And I was like, oh, okay, sick. Backstage, we had Dirty Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough and Finn Balor. Confrontation with the LWO and Dragon Lee, which sets up a match between Dragon Lee and Dominic Mysterio later on in the show. And AJ Styles is not done with Dominic Mysterio, and I think we're going to have AJ beat Dom at Clash in Paris, which would I say would end a pretty decent reign for Dominic. I'll be alright with that. Interestingly, we're never doing this Judgment Day face heel turn thing on Dom. I don't know what we're doing. Sheamus and Rusev's match ended in a double countout, so be for sure we're going to get a stipulation at Clash in Paris because this was a no-winner. So, yeah, they're going to have probably an I Quit match. I'm excited for that. Grayson Waller would face Penta, and it was a decent match, but I was really just kind of waiting for like the main event of the show. No offense. I like Penta, I like Grayson Waller, but yeah. Penta should have been on SummerSlam, personally. Penta picked up the win. The New Day is quite funny, but this Raw was good, but I was just like waiting for the main event. Naomi had a promo, but it was cut, and it was also in an ad break for like international audiences, and then it was cut short because of them talking about Brock Lesnar's return. Honestly, that's just a piss take. I feel so bad for Naomi. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair would come out and they would say, right, we know what? We aren't friends, but we are champions. I like the dynamic between them. But then also, Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez were like, well, we won our rematch. And they got it. And I think, I was like, okay, I can see them winning the belts here. Thankfully, they didn't win the belts. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss would retain the championships after Roxanne Perez got Sister Abigail DDT'd by Alexa Bliss in a pretty decent match. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky are still doing the same thing. I love both of them, but for God's sake, split them up! Unless they're going after the tag titles. Io gets a rematch with Naomi one-on-one next week on Raw, and if Io wins, she'll be facing Stephanie McMahon at Clash in Paris. And you can damn well bet that Rhea Ripley is going to get the match, by the way, at Perth for the championship. She will get that match. She is going to be winning the championship in her home country. So, Naomi, Stephanie, Io, whoever is going to be champion, you're losing it to Rhea Ripley very soon. Because then they are going to throw the Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley match. Which, yeah, I'm excited for. But for Christ's sake, could she not go without a title for just a bit longer? And when I mean that, I mean out of the title picture. Like, go for something else. Feud with someone else. Go to SmackDown. Feud with Jade Cargill. I don't know. Something Rhea. Just anything else. Lyra Valkyria versus Bayley is not happening anymore. Bayley is upset, and Lyra says she needs to get out of the Bayley vortex. This might be Lyra going to SmackDown, maybe challenging Tiffany Stratton. Please do it. Lyra's ready, and she's beaten Tiffany before. No, I think she has. I don't know. Dominic Mysterio vs. Dragon Lee was a very decent match, but we had shenanigans with 1 Grande Americano, 2 Grande Americano, and 3 Grande Americanos. Why have we got a faction of El Grande Americanos? Chad Gable's cooking up some madness. Dominic picks up the win. Sami Zayn kind of got booed during his little interview about carrying cross and everything. Sami then said, I did actually want to use the pipe, but I didn't. And I know the crowd wanted me to use the pipe, but I didn't. Weird promo, and then Rusev and Sheamus just were still fighting, and then Sami got hit, which sets up a match between Sami and Rusev next week. I don't really know what we're doing with Sami Zayn now, but he says he wants to be a world champion. Sami, I'm still hoping for you, but I don't know anymore. Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella had a decent back and forth on the mic, and this seems to be the new feud for Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Quite like it. I think it's quite good. It's a new thing. We've moved on from Lyra. Becky does just need to keep the championship, personally. It's a clever feud. There were lines obviously about John Cena. I mean, you should probably go watch the promo, but yeah, Becky kind of cooked Nikki on the mic. Nikki was just left speechless. Becky's just so good on the mic. And again, I love Becky's new theme. It's perfect. She slapped Nikki Bella in the face, and then backstage, Natalya was not happy, and Becky's facing Maxine Dupri next week. Naomi was interrupted by Stephanie Vaquer, who was annoyed Naomi called her Stephanie Velcro. It would make no sense for Naomi to lose to Io Sky if we're rolling these two with a feud, unless we're doing a triple threat at Clash in Paris. So somehow Naomi's got to win next week, maybe by DQ. LA Knight vs Seth Rollins then for the World Heavyweight Championship was next, the main event. Good match, cut short. Kind of knew it was going to be cut short. Shenanigans, very obvious. Seth was trying to stomp LA Knight into the concrete floor, but CM Punk would come out of the crowd and attack Seth. Or I would have rather CM Punk had done it whilst the referee was down so LA Knight could shockingly win the match. That didn't happen. So LA Knight was justifiably annoyed with Punk. Which is definitely going to set maybe a triple threat clash in Paris. Seth would beat down Punk and LA Knight and be walking out until the OTC's theme hit. Roman Reigns would then try and take out this whole group. And that failed again. And Roman lost his shoes again. No Jey Uso on this show. Very cool brawl to end it. But yeah, Bronson Reed, Bron Breakker just killed the tribal chief. And Bronson once again stole his shoes. I think he hit him with 3 or 4 tsunamis. And Roman's now basically out for about 7 months probably. Who knows? I'm sure Punk and LA Knight will be back next week. But Roman did get hit with the most moves. And yeah, Seth's faction stands on top. I kind of was hoping for a shock and LA Knight was going to beat Seth. Because Punk wanted revenge and maybe was just going to cost Seth. Like, I was waiting for like a ref bump, but it didn't happen. And yeah, Seth won by DQ. And they have a name. The Vision. They should have just called them the Visionaries. It would have been way more better than that. But anyway, Seth's faction stand on top. Sorry, the Vision stand on top of the Raw. They end the show. Roman's out for 7 years. Seth's never going to face Roman for the World Heavyweight Championship. They've made so many enemies. Sami Zayn, Penta, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, LA Knight. I think we have our War Games match already. Decent show from Raw, but I don't know. I think SummerSlam Night 2 was the best thing from the whole weekend until it got ruined by that return. But yeah, the Vision stands on top and I'm interested to see what happens on SmackDown. But a good weekend of wrestling and I'll see you for the next weekly roundup. Bye for now.